I speak out, for Israel and against anti-Semitism. It's not political, it's survival. We have to protect ourselves from people that want to kill us. And at the same time, we've got a responsibility to sort of be, God's chosen people. Bill, there were 3 Jewish American basketball coaches that coached at this year's Final Four. Don't tell me this isn't the greatest country in the world, and this isn't the opportunity for everybody. At the same time, I have my head on a swivel. If my basketball team's gonna be calling God like we did all year long, we call God, that was our thing all season long, then I can't be acting this way if I'm gonna call God. And if I want to fight anti-Semitism, that's what I gotta do. You gotta be a role model. You've gotta be held to a higher authority because you're gonna be judged and so am I. And I'm okay with that. It drives me to try to be the best version of the person I can be, and I bet you it does the same thing for you as well.
Hey cousins, I'm coming to you here from Jerusalem, Israel with the legendary basketball coach from Auburn, the one and only Bruce Pearl. Nice to meet you.
Great to be with you. I'm a big PragerU fan.
Oh, we appreciate you.
It's all about education.
That is true. And a lot of people tend to lack that these days. Now, I'll be upfront with you. I tend to be someone who leans a little bit towards the Roll Tide, but since I learned that you're a Zionist, you might convince me to come over to the Auburn side.
You know what? You don't have to pick. You really don't. You really don't. You know what? Auburn is a great school, but you know what's interesting about Alabama? It's a huge school, and we're attracting more kids from around the country. And so you know what we're doing? The kids from around the country are coming to Alabama, but it'll be Auburn or University of Alabama, other places in the southeastern part of the country, where they love their country, they love their God, they love their neighbors. There's Judeo-Christian values. There's love amongst brothers. There is less racism. There is less anti-Semitism. And you know what? If they go back to the Northeast, they go west, they go other places, they'll realize what we got down in the Southeast is possible.
100%.
It's possible.
See, that's what I really liked about Bama. I went there a few times with like the RNC debates, and President Trump spoke over there and everything. And every time I went there, and that's the vibe I felt like, look, that brotherhood, that was just all in the ecosystem there. So you gotta come check out Auburn and see what's there too.
It's even better. It's even better at Auburn. Promise you.
Nice. Well, I learned recently just some details about your story about how you've been taking athletes and bringing them over here to Israel. So I'm really curious, what led you to want to do that, and what have your athletes benefited from coming to Israel?
Man. So Athletes for Israel is an organization. I'm on the board. Daniel Posner is the founder, executive director, and this amazing, wonderful man. When you ask anybody in Israel, I'd like to help, what can I do? Their answer will be almost the same. Come that idea. Or bring somebody else. That's it. They're not even going to try to talk you into how wonderful it is.
Right.
Because you're going to come here, you're going to see it, you're going to feel it, you're going to see the diversity, you're going to see the freedom. For the Christians, the Holy Spirit's going to work within them. For the Jewish people, they're going to be so grateful to be back in their ancestral homeland. It's a very, very special place. So, athletes are influencers. Athletes are the big men on campus, or the big women on campus. And they work hard because they're athletes. They've got to train really hard. They oftentimes, when they get jobs, start in a position of leadership. And so if we can get athletes to come here and just see for themselves, and I'm not even going to tell you what they should see, because I don't even want to prejudice their visit. You come see, you come feel it, and then you go home, and then you go back and you listen or read or watch things, and you recognize, oh, that's not all true. Israel was not like that at all. It's a pretty cool place.
You know, I can't agree more, because believe it or not, this is my 5th time here in 2 years. Yeah. And fortunately, I actually came a few months before October 7th. So I was baffled by how different it was than what I expected. Because the first thing I thought, I was going to see a bunch of white people here, and it's 50 shades of brown all over Israel.
Let me tell you something, brother. Light-skinned brothers are in, right?
Basically, because.
Come on, right? No, for real. But that's what the world is. They all think that everybody looks like somebody that got out of a Nazi concentration camp. Our people came from Africa. Our people came from Egypt. They came from, Morocco, from Libya. I know it's just Africa, but, through the Middle East, we're people of color. That doesn't make us any better or any worse. But we are incredibly misunderstood in that regard. And when my players get off the plane and they look, they do make stereotypical judgments. Oh my God, you guys look a lot more like us than a lot of people I know. Sometimes that should connect us, sometimes, but it doesn't always.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It's not that being, ethnic is making you better or worse, but it's a matter of it debunks this whole narrative that's what's happening in Israel in the Palestinian conflict. It's this black versus white oppression issue. People trying to make it seem like it's all white supremacy here, and that could be any further true.
It couldn't. And I get it. Listen, I understand the haves and the have-nots. Let me ask you a question. You work hard? Everything you have, you've worked for?
Correct.
You feel like apologizing for that to anybody?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's where American Jewry has really taken advantage of this amazing democracy, this amazing capitalism. For centuries and centuries, it wasn't that way around the world. Jews weren't allowed to own the land. They weren't allowed to have certain business on. All of a sudden, they come to America, and there's all this opportunity, there's all this freedom, and I just look. My job as a basketball coach is to bring people together. So I want to bring Christians and Jews, and I want to bring Muslims together. You know what? Abraham, father of all nations. I don't know exactly what he had in mind when Ishmael was so mistreated, and there was Isaac, through the Judeo-Christian man, and Muslim. But Abraham's our father. That connects us, whether we like it or not. And that's how I feel. And then when it comes to the Jews and the Christians, I didn't go to Hebrew school my whole life and study what an amazing rabbi Jesus was. I didn't learn until I was much older that Jesus was Jewish his whole life. That he was born here, that he was raised here, that he died here. And Christians believe he died, went to heaven, ascended, and is going to come back right to here. That connects us. I'm a coach. I'm not just saying this because this is what I do. I try to find things that people bring together. I think Jerusalem, I think Israel is a place where people can come together. And right now, under being a Jewish state, the world is invited to come visit. And that has not always been the case. When Jordan had this between 48 and 67, Jews couldn't go to the Temple Mount. Christians couldn't go to the Holy Sepulchres. What is so hard for people to understand? Between 48 and 67, nobody else was allowed to be here. How are the Palestinian world or the Arab world, how are they treating women? How are they treating blacks? Not to say, and I can tell you how they're treating Jews. And yet we're going to be on college campuses and we're going to be cheering for these people from the river to the sea. We're going to talk about apartheid and genocide. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit.
It really is. And I am curious too. So as a basketball coach, I presume a lot of your athletes are black. Do you tend to see or hear that tension that's rising between black and Jewish communities? Because I feel like it should be the opposite. Just you have much more in common, including enemies, than we don't.
It depends what you've been taught, what you've been told, what you read, what you see on social media or TikTok and things like that. The issue is the haves and the happy eyes. Then I didn't finish my point. Oftentimes it's called inner something, right? I apologize, the wrong word, but when what is perceived to be the not haves, they all have these things in common. It's almost like the LGBT community aligning themselves with the Islamic extremists. If you're gay in Israel, it's not an issue. And by the way, I'm old enough to say gay because I don't even know if it's the right word or not, but I'm old enough to say it. If you are not, and you're part of the LGBT community in an Arab community or with an Islamic extremist community, they're killing you. And yet these people are going to be together because we're both have-nots. It doesn't make any sense. So, I want to give everybody a chance. We in the Jewish faith, right now our job is to protect ourselves from those that want to kill us, but also have a responsibility to fight anti-Semitism. If my basketball team's going to be calling God like we did all year long, we called God, that was our thing all season long, then I can't be acting this way if I'm going to call God. And if I want to fight anti-Semitism, that's what I got to do. You want to fight racism? You got to be a role model. You've got to be held to a higher authority because you're going to be judged and so am I. And I'm okay with that. It drives me to try to be the best version of the person I can be, and I bet you it does the same thing for you as well. I don't mind that responsibility.
100%. It's funny when you mention how the woke college kids that you're seeing at a lot of these campuses that are representing the Gagan struggle. It's like I wish I could just take a giant FaceTime portal so that people in like Hamas could see who it is that's representing their values over the rest.
Yep, I agree with you. Let me tell you something. I don't blame the kids. I don't blame the students. I don't really blame them. When people hear me say this, I don't understand. Who's teaching?
Sure.
Who's teaching? Are we having, do we have Holocaust education in middle schools? Because guess what, the state of Alabama, we do. We have Holocaust education in the state of Alabama, mandatory. These kids are seeing it, they're learning it, and they're gonna make their own judgments when they. But if we don't have that education, if that's part of our curriculum, if we're not teaching kids to love our country and recognize the opportunities that are available to them, or if we're everything so how awful we are as a country, they're not gonna be patriotic, they're not gonna love our country, and they're not gonna understand. That's why, you know what's as much, it's our educational system. That's as broke as anything. And thank God for PragerU, because you guys are all over it.
You guys heard that. Be sure to click the link in the bio to make sure you subscribe to PragerU. And I have one more question for you. Do you get a lot of pressure on campus since you're in the sports world to be apolitical? Do they try to cancel you, silence you, or anything like that?
Yeah. I'm 65 years old. My Hebrew name is Mordechai Shua. If you know the story of Purim, there was almost a Holocaust before the one that happened in Germany in the 1940s. That Holocaust almost took place in Persia, in Iran. Haman had an idea. And his idea, he was going to try to convince the king to murder all the Jews. And he had the king's ear. But what he didn't know was Queen Esther, who was married to the king, Jewish, and had the king's heart. But it took Queen Esther's uncle, named Mordechai, to plead with his niece, Esther. You have to stand up. You must say something. If you don't fight for your people, you will be next. I don't care if it costs me my job. I don't care if it costs me a promotion. I don't care if it costs me a recruit. What I'm saying to you may not be right. It's not about being right, but it's what I believe. And it's my right as a citizen of our country. I'm not asking for anybody to be killed. I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for an intifada. I'm not calling for death to anybody. And as long as I'm not calling for violence and death and destruction, I have a right to say what I'm going to say. And people are going to criticize me. That's okay. That's okay. And I'm giving hope. I know I'm giving hope to the Jewish people.
Amen to that. Ethan, I'm inspired. So how could you just support you, Bruce, on everything that you're doing and bringing the athletes over, or just in general?
I just think we need to love each other. We need to be patient. We need to tolerate each other. We need to respect each other's differences. We're going to find more things in common than we have apart, so on and so forth. And before we speak, we got to get. The media is really tough. The media is complicit in all this. Getting to the truth, getting what's real is very, very difficult. And I blame our educational system, and I blame the media. And when you asked about what we can do to fix what's going on, unless we fix the media and fix the education, we might be fighting an uphill battle. So let's get those two areas fixed. Let's speak the truth. Let's know the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. Let's do something about it. And we'll make a better place for everybody.
Lord knows we're trying. We're trying. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. God bless.
God bless you.